Vincenzo, let's go crypto investing, and we're going to get right on into this. And we think there could be a little bit of a weekend pump here. And if you let me explain here a little bit, we have a little bit of bullish sentiment going through the overall equity markets as the U.S. dollar finished the week down. And it's off of its highs now. It was, I believe it got up to 115 or 114, right? And let's take a look with our industry exclusive measuring tool, and I'm going to lay this out here and lay this little idea out. So we're at 114 spot 659, and we're off our high right now about 2.5%. And the reason we've had this little pullback recently is because there's been some news coming out of some big time players in the government saying that the Federal Reserve is going to start to pivot in December because they're fearing a recession, right, and an economic crisis, right? So you can see that the U.S. dollar went down. You can see gold had a big finish to the week. Silver had an even bigger finish at 4% for silver, and then the gold and silver stocks have went up substantially, and they've been volatile. They've been up 4 or 5% in a day, then down 4 or 5%. But you can see the stocks that I own, obviously GPL, they have not filed bankruptcy. As long as they don't file bankruptcy and it's money that you can afford that is almost zero, and wait and sit on it like I am, obviously you have no choice now. But it's not bankrupt, but you can see Kinross Gold, Pan America Silver, B2 Gold, Fortuna Silver, AEM all had phenomenal days on Friday, and those are all companies that I have a pretty good amount of gold, a pretty good amount of shares in, and those ones all paid dividends, so those weren't speculations. The GPL, I made it open and cleared everybody that it was a speculation. For the future, did I foresee what happening? No, 2 years ago, or else I wouldn't have had as much money in there as I did. But you can see the stock market had a big push up too. The Dow Jones 2.47%, the Nasdaq 2.89%, the Hayshank Index up 1%, the Nikkei down slightly, the Standard & Poor's Index up 2.43%, right? The Russell 2000 up 2.17%. And you can see the reason for that is because there's a lot of sentiment that thinks that the Fed is about to pivot. And they think the Fed's going to pivot, and they think the Fed's going to do it as soon as December meetings and start to tame down the rate hikes, right? And start to open up the monetary spigots as we head deeper into the winter, into the springtime. The Fed's been open and honest about what they're going to do, and right now they're not pivoting, even because inflation numbers are still coming in hot, and the jobs report's not bad for the numbers that they're looking at. And I don't think the Fed's going to pivot in December. The Fed will pivot eventually, but I don't think they're going to start in December. But right now, it's leading to some bullish sentiment, and it's setting the stage for the crypto markets as the futures market opens tomorrow. You could see initially today or tomorrow a drop, right, to where it looks like everything's going to come down, like where you get a 3 to 5% drop across the board in all the coins. And then it quickly reverses and heads up. And you can see the Bitcoin price is still... The Bitcoin price is still sitting in this critical area that it's been in on the top part of this support resistance zone, right? On that $19,299.31 range. And what I think is going to happen is we know that's your underneath support on a breakdown. I think we're going to come challenge this up here. I think there's a little bit of a pump developing in the market with the bullish sentiment that's coming out because they think the Fed's going to turn on the monetary spigot and start to tame down their interest rate hikes and maybe be closer to neutral in December, and that would be bullish for risk assets, bullish for the stock market, because investors would start thinking that the Fed's going to start to lower rates and print money, right? But the Fed's saying they're not going to do that. But just from the sentiment and the stories going out, I could see a big spike in the Bitcoin price, at least to retest this area right here, up near $24,000, and maybe come all the way up toward $24,837.74. Right, so I'm watching that closely, as there could be a nice pump the next week, the next 7 days. Even if you start with a power move to the downside today or tomorrow before the market opens to fake everybody out like I often, but not always, likes to do. But I think you really got to pay attention for this $24,000 target to come in the very short term, and then there would be a big fall after that. But I could see some kind of a pump between 22,000 and 24,000 over the next 7 days. And it's a pump advisory, right? An overreaction pump advisory to some news that their people are forecasting as as a possibility that the Fed's going to start to get more dovish, right? But I'm not buying the dovishness in December. I think it's going to take till next year. But I could see the markets pumping, just like the gold market and the stock markets had a nice Friday. I could see the Bitcoin and the crypto markets, after they've been very, very heavily sold and hit, I could see a nice rally, because if you got a nice rally from there right now, look at all the excitement that would happen if you went on a 20 to 25%, 20 to 30% pump from 22,000 to 29,000 off of your recent 18,800 and change low, right? So I'm watching out for that in the Bitcoin price. The XRP price is the same thing. We've been sitting here on this consolidation ever since we had the big pump, right? That flipped this 37 cents from major resistance back here after the great June dump, right? We flipped it from major resistance after this big run up, and we flipped it to support right here. Now we've had this long consolidation, which has been kind of down and sideways now after the recent price action, with the crashing volume to coming to almost nothing after a little bit of a run up there, but the volume's been harshly descending. This could, as we know, are 37 cents. I still think we might hit that, which I could see something coming down here quick and then a skyrocket up to 68 cents. I could see that happening. But I'm paying attention now and taking more serious of a possible pump in the XRP price to come up here and maybe try to retest the 68 cents on everyone getting short-term bullish based on what they think the Fed's going to do here in the medium range coming into the first month of wintertime in December. I could see the XRP price after this consolidation right here, a long consolidation. I could see a run up here to 68 cents. So I got a 68 cent advisory or a watch put on as a possible area to come up to, even if, say tonight or tomorrow, you had a big dump down and came all the way down into the 37, 38 cent range, maybe 39 cents, comes down and then has a big recovery, right? Fakes everybody out. But pay attention for a possible run up to that 68 cent level over the next week or so as we start to get some short covering in the stock market and even into the crypto futures market, right? On some of the bullish sentiment in the short term here, as I'm watching on a break of 50 cents is your major area of support or resistance that you need to get above to make this happen. But this is your major resistance, 50 cents. Major support is 37 cents. And now I'm upping the possibility to a 56% chance that might happen, even if it comes down here first. In the next week to 10 days, we could be seeing a 68 cent XRP. And I'm going to be paying attention for that because we already know the downside risk after that, or the downside risk if we don't go up there, as it's nearly a 50-50 based on the recent sentiment. But eventually we're going to come back down to that 37 cents, and then we're going to come back and retest in the medium range term, that 29 to 32 cents, because as we do know, even if we get a pump, this end of the year target will be hit. The 18 to 20 cents will get hit, but I'm paying attention for a possible short-term pump and a short-term bullish sentiment over the next week, and we'll see how that plays out. As you got the 50 cents is your major resistance right now, 37 cents your major support. If you break the 50 cents, then we can try to get up to that 68 cent level that we're watching out for as a possibility of some kind of bullish sentiment over the next week to 10 days, right? Over the next 7 days, really. This would be the week coming up right now, and this week coming up that the market's open tomorrow night on Sunday. This week would be the bullish week, and that's what I'm watching out for as a possibility that the prices start to move up. And the same thing with Ethereum. We've been consolidating on this same area on the top part of the blue trading range for quite some time. If we get that bullish push this week, it would bring in to $1,689.55 would be a major upper resistance and a major target on a pump up to the upside for Ethereum, right? That would be our major upside target, and that's the target that I'd be paying attention for this week if we do get this bullish sentiment. And then the $1,089 is obviously our major underneath support, which at some point will get hit, but it might have to wait till we have a nice pump this week and maybe make a run up there to that $1,600. Am I saying it's going to happen? No, but I'm putting out the advisory that I could see an across-the-board pump during this week, right? Doesn't mean it's going to go up from today. Just means sometime during this week I could see a nice pump up in the crypto market. And XLM too, as we let this load in. XLM, your major upside target would be right here on a pump up this week. Would be between this 1.618 and the 12 and a half cents, right? So it's 12 and a half cents up to the 13 and a half cents, and from the current price, that would be a 10 to 16% pump at current price, right? And those would be your major upper resistance areas, and those are areas that I'm watching this week for on a pump with XLM. If we go to ADA or Cardano, it's easy to know what this major upside target would be, and that would be this 42 cents right here. This was a major support level that it was trying to hold from back here, back there in June, and then all the way through here in the September, through pretty much the whole month of September. It was holding at 42 cents as support, and then it broke down below it and came all the way down to that 33 cents. Remember the last time we talked about Cardano? We said we were going to come back and back test this falling channel that we were in, and we had our target down here at 33 cents from when the price was up here. We have hit that underneath target. We're attempting to form a bottoming pattern. So your major upper resistance on a pump this week would be coming all the way back up here to the 43 cents. And then maybe it would come up into something like this, the 45, 46, to back test this area, right? So that's our major area to watch this week. And Cardano is up there, and that's what I'm going to be watching out for. And with our industry exclusive measuring tool from the current price, that's a phenomenal 20 to 25% pump, and I'm paying attention for that because that is a distinct possibility that we have an across-the-board crypto pump this week, and I'm going to be on top of it all weekend for you. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love.